Good morning. Welcome to Unity Church of Greater Rochester. Let's begin by singing together. I believe we have... Okay, wonderful. Please join in. There we go. Love is my decision. To me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision, up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision, no one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision, up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision, no one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Decision right here and now.
Now, our prayer chaplain, Suzanne, will bring up our prayer box. We bring up the prayer box here every week, and we hold every prayer in our hearts for all of you. We send these prayers to Silent Unity, and you are prayed for 30 days. At the end of the service, the prayer box will be in the back, so you may enter any prayers for any need that you may have. And so it is.
Good morning. Good morning. Today's daily word is protection. God is here and I am safe. Once in a while, I enjoy doing things that frighten me. Sharing ghost stories around a campfire, watching a spooky movie, even savoring the uneasy feeling just before thundering down the first hill of a roller coaster. All these things can feel scary, even though I know I'm in no real danger. If I begin to feel unsafe in any situation, I remember that right where I am, God is. Breathing out, I release tension. My body relaxes. Fearful thoughts begin to dissolve. Breathing in, I think more clearly. Slowly, I regain renewed strength and peace of mind. My confidence returns as I remember that nothing in the world can prevail against the strength, the wisdom, and the love of God. And from Psalm 23:4, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me.
Please let's join together in singing the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Church of Greater Rochester. Our God is love, our race is human, our faith is oneness. Today, our service will be conducted by our Prayer Chaplain team. Our lesson is Fear Not. We all have stories to tell you. I once read a book titled The Only Prayer You Will Ever Need. That prayer was, Dear God, please heal me from my fear-based thoughts. We often have fear-based thoughts, such as, oh, I'm going to be late. I can't pay my bills. My car might break down. I'm not good enough. And we may not even realize what we are telling ourselves. Well, today we say, fear not. We can ask God for help. God always wants the best for us. God knows who we truly are. First, we must become aware of our fear-based thoughts. Then we must be willing to recognize and change those thoughts. Then, with determination, we move forward to change our thoughts and heal our life. Today, we will hear stories of how God can help us to move from fear to faith. Is there anyone here for the first time today? I see mostly familiar faces. We love to meet new people, and we know they are coming. They will find us. Thank you. Let's see. And now our affirmation. Let's say this together. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ, the truth which is in me.
And now we will sing together again. We're going to sing from the hymnal this time, number 60, page 60. I am stronger than my fears. Okay, and we are going to replace the word his with God. The capital H, his, will replace with God as we sing it.
I am stronger than my fears. I am wiser than my years. I am gladder than my tears, for I am God's image. I am better than my deeds. I am holier than my creeds. I am wealthier than my needs, for I am God's image. God whose image thus I bear, and whose likeness I shall share, all his glory will declare through the eye God's image.
Well, good morning. Well, today I have something, it's a poem, two poems. And one might feel kind of depressing. You'll think, wonder where I'm leaving you. But it's Halloween. That's how we got Fear Not, boo. Okay. And it's from the eyes of a perspective of a 10-year-old. A 10-year-old who has fears or maybe reluctant to age. Now, and he's 10. This is a big thing for him. Now, some of us may be thinking of turning 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or 90 or 100 or 110, 111. So it starts with a 10-year-old, and then we'll go on. We hope that he comes to the realization that there's nothing to fear. On Turning 10, this is by Billy Collins. The whole idea of it makes me feel like I'm coming down with something worse than a stomach ache, or the headaches I get from reading in bed in bad light, a kind of measles of the spirit, a mumps of the psyche, a disfiguring chickenpox of the soul. You tell me it is too early to be looking back, but that is because you have forgotten the perfect simplicity of being one and the beautiful complexity introduced by two. But I can lie on my bed and remember every digit. At 4, I was an Arabian wizard. I could make myself invisible by drinking a glass of milk a certain way. At 7, I was a soldier. At 9, a prince. But now I am mostly at the window watching the late afternoon light. Back then, it never fell so solemnly against the side of my treehouse, and my bicycle never leaned against the garage as it does today, all the dark blue speed drained out of it. This is the beginning of sadness, I say to myself, as I walk through the universe in my sneakers. It is time to say goodbye to my imaginary friends. Time to turn the first big number. It seems only yesterday I used to believe there was nothing under my skin but light. If you cut me, I would shine. But now, when I fall upon the sidewalk of life, I skin my knees. I bleed. Okay. Does that seem rather dark? But what a beautiful, perceptive 10-year-old. Okay. But later on, as we know, this is another poem, and it happens to blend with what was in the Daily Word, ended with something from Psalm 23. Well, this is Psalm 23, and it's the interpretation of Mary Baker Eddy, but I think it fits in with us. So now, we who are going on to other double-digit numbers can rest assured, divine love is my shepherd. I shall not want. Love maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Love leadeth me beside the still waters. Love restoreth my soul, spiritual sense. Love leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for God's name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear not, fear no evil, for love is with me. Love's rod and love's staff, they comfort me. Love prepareth a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Love anointeth my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house, the consciousness of love forever. Fear not.
Now, now we'll prepare for meditation. No? Oh, no? Okay.
Fear not. We will do this all in the right order. So, John Taffner has been a faithful member of our prayer chaplain team. But since he cannot be here with us today, he sent along something for us to read. John, for some years, as a second career, was a nurse serving in a hospice community. Hospice patients are looking toward what one might call the afterlife. They are preparing to transition. Others might say preparing to die. And it is not unusual for fear to be part of the process for the patients and for their friends and family. John has several stories that show that this fear can be allayed in many ways. There is no limit to God's comfort. Fear not. John calls this story the magic door. And these are John's words. I visited a new patient. The first visit is a time to get to know each other, to learn what might be needed and how the patient is feeling. We were meeting on the enclosed porch at the back of the house. When our meeting ended and I was getting ready to leave, I heard a noise coming from outside the porch. I noticed that the doorknob was slowly turning. I did not see anyone standing there. I thought it might be a small child. I watched as the doorknob continued to turn. The door slowly opened and a cat walked in. The cat looked me over, then continued on into the house. I looked at the woman and said, I can't believe the cat would be able to open the door. She said, oh yes. When I got so bad, I could no longer get out of the chair and walk to the door to open it for her, she taught herself to open it. How God can provide. Fear not. The next story from John is called No Scaredy Cat, This One. The patient was sleeping in a hospital bed. Her cat was next to her, right up close. I walked over to the side of the bed and placed both hands on the movable railing. The cat came straight at me, snarling and showing her teeth. I took my hands off the railing immediately and stepped away from the bed. The cat stopped snarling immediately, turned, and went back beside the patient. The cat gave me a glare, letting me know she would always protect the person she loves. Pets can be fearless when they are protecting their own, right up to the end. God is good and always present. Fear not. Suzanne will also share two of John's stories along with hers. But now for my story. When I found unity, I knew I was home. There are many paths, and unity accepts and acknowledges that all are valid. For we are all one, and we will all find the path to know who we truly are as the manifestation of God's love. As I move forward, my steps have brought me to deeper self-exploration, learning to love God, myself, and others. I have learned to let go of fear and embrace faith. Unity's principles has helped me to remember who I am and how to better negotiate life here on earth. The first principle is God is everywhere present and all good. I have always believed God loves all beings unconditionally. Fear not. We are all lovable, loving, and loved. The second principle is we are created by God, therefore human and divine. I believe all people are doing the best they can with the knowledge and understanding they have. Fear not. We are all learning and moving forward. The third principle is what we think and believe creates our reality. Fear not. With awareness, we can change our thoughts, see things differently, and find a better way. The fourth principle is prayer and meditation bring us closer to God. God knows us as love and light, the heirs of all good. With the willingness to come closer to God, there can be nothing to fear. The fifth principle is we must live the truth we know. With determination, every step is peace. We see love and beauty everywhere. We are not afraid to be who we truly are and see God's love in all. From A Course in Miracles, I have learned perfect love casts out fear. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love. But if there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist. Love is so powerful, only it can exist. When angels appear, the first thing they say is, "Fear not." Angels know that only perfect love exists. We also know, but often forget. I know my guardian angel. I met her many years ago in meditation. Her name is Alice, which means all love is coming everywhere. When I am forgetful of who I am, I say, Alice, who am I? She says, fear not, we are all one. Love is who, what, when, where, and why we are here. Remembering love is how we move forward. Fear not, we are all right where we are supposed to be. Thank you, God.
I'd like to share a couple more anecdotes that our beloved John Taffner sent for us. Fear not. The first story John shared was of a lady who was just fascinated with the rising and gradual setting of the sun. Her bed and 4 windows were situated so she had a clear view of the sun throughout the day. Throughout the last day of her life, she was able to follow the light as the image and warmth passed by the 4 windows, taking her spirit and leaving her body stretched and twisted to see the last image over the headboard. The light of God is beauty and comfort. His next story, he called a man's best friend. John went upstairs to visit a man as the man rested in bed. The man was uncommunicative throughout the visit, but John was able to assess that the man was comfortable. John went back downstairs, and the man's small lapdog ran along the staircasing, barking loudly. When John's foot hit the floor, the dog nipped him in the ankle. The bite hurt a bit, but there was no mark or blood. The dog looked John in the eyes, continued to growl, then walked away as if to say, I am in charge and you're not needed. So pets really do know us. So my story about fear. I have always had an overly developed habit of poverty thinking. It probably started with my Depression-era parents. In any case, I was definitely raised with an appreciation of not wasting anything: food, electricity, any basic resource. Combined with that, I was taught not to extend credit, always pay in cash, but make sure you get a receipt. I was proud that I was able to pay my tuition at cooking school with my babysitting money and other monies that I earned at little restaurants. After marrying and starting a family and obtaining a mortgage, I quickly realized that we would have to secure some loans and obtain credit cards. I was obsessed with paying my bills the day they arrived in the mail. I prided myself with the ability to manage our finances so that we could always take a vacation, which was very important to me. After 23 years of marriage, for a variety of reasons, we divorced. I became a single parent, and I was very aware of how tight our finances were, even with 2 jobs, but we always made it. Fast forward, my sons grew up, and I met my current husband. We moved in together and jointly paid our bills. I quickly realized, although he paid his bills, he waited until the last possible day. He was a spender. My anal retentive saver brain went crazy. I still had to pay those bills the day that they came in. But worse, I ruminated about it, losing sleep, and my financial worries just became off the chart. I started calculating who was paying for this and that. Basically, I was keeping score, which isn't good for any relationship or my mental health. About this time, I found unity and was told about the 5 truth principles, which seemed so beautifully simplistic and a wonderful way to live my life. I attended a book study that Reverend Eleanor had on prosperity. We read the Katherine Ponder book, Open Your Mind to Prosperity, which you can get in our bookstore. Reverend Eleanor taught about the importance of tithing and encouraged us to give it a try. Now, I had always supported every church that I had ever attended, but I had never even considered giving a full 10% of my gross income. How could I ever do this when I lived check to check? And then Reverend Eleanor said something I will never forget. She looked us all and said, all good comes from God. If you truly, truly believe this, if you were given $1, could you give 10 cents? If you were given $100, could you give $10 to the place that spiritually feeds you? What about $1,000? Where would you draw the line? God doesn't draw a line with us. And then I truly realized I wanted to live by Unity's 5 truth principles. I did believe that all good comes from God. And so I wrote out that check the minute I got paid, but I did it lovingly and with intention. A couple of days later, I received 3 official letters in the mail telling me that I was entitled to some money that my ex-husband and I had in a deferred payment account. I would receive a small portion of his pension that I thought ended with his death. And that $250 a month had made the difference in my life. And now it was reinstated. I have continued tithing from that point on, and I'm so grateful for Unity teachings that encouraged me to stop and take a breath and truly remember God is the source of all our good. Now, I'm not rolling in cash, but there's always enough, and it has helped me to curb my obsession with poverty thinking, worries, and years of ruminating about lack. God has blessed me, and now all I need is to get my husband to realize how freeing this is too. It has given me such peace, and I wish that for all. Thank you.
I was on a plane. I was sitting in my seat reading a Unity book by Katherine Ponder. And then I noticed that a few rows ahead of me was a family with a couple of parents and several children. Thank you. Can you hear me better? The youngest child, the smallest one, was a little boy who was sitting in in an aisle seat. And he was crying and screaming and screaming and crying. Maybe he was afraid to be on that plane. Lots of people are, especially when there's turbulence. His family was ignoring him, which seemed okay to me. Maybe he could help himself to settle down. And he kept screaming and screaming and crying and crying. A thought came to me. I'm going to pray for this child, and I'm going to keep praying and praying until he becomes calm. So I started praying. He was still screaming. I know that God created you to be a wonderful, perfect little boy, and I wish you a peaceful and joyful life. I thought of some affirmations. God is here and all is well. God is here and all is one. And he kept screaming and crying. Then I thought, I have another affirmation. This child loves life and life loves him. I visualized him as this perfect, quiet child. I saw him enfolded in a blue heavenly light, and angels were all around him. So I kept praying and praying, and he kept screaming and screaming. In a little while, a man came walking purposely and stridently up the aisle from the back of the plane. He was about my age, maybe older. And I knew by his appearance that he was an Orthodox Jewish man. He was wearing a black suit, had a long white beard, and on his head was a yarmulke. When he got to the little boy, he leaned over him, and the child stopped crying. Ooh. He was there a long time, and I got very curious. Why was he leaning over this little boy for such a long time? What was going on? So finally, he left to go back to his seat in the back of the plane. And I stopped him on his way, and I said, "How'd you do that? How'd you get him to stop crying?" And the man asked me, "Do you have grandchildren?" And I said, "Yes, I have 2 and 3 great-grands." And he said, "Do you remember that game Pac-Man?" And I said, "Yeah, I remember that. It was a long time ago." And he said, "Well, I gave him a phone that I no longer needed and taught him how to play Pac-Man." I thanked the man who went back to his seat. And the child continued to be quiet. I kept looking up there, and he was quiet. So after a while, the plane finally landed, and I got up from my seat and walked forward a few rows to see the little child, and he was there with his phone that the man had given him, just playing the game. He seemed peaceful and content and joyful. He had something to do. And as I was leaving, the plane finally landed. I said that, right? And as I was leaving, I thought, I need to process this event that just occurred. And I thought, God sometimes answers prayer in very unexpected and creative ways. And from deep in my soul, I had this feeling, and I said out loud, God is awesome.
Thank you, prayer chaplains. That's awesome.
So now it's hymn number 59. Let's sing together to prepare for meditation.
You ask me how Christ comes to me. My heart his presence fills. He comes as silently as the dawn comes over the wakened hills. How silently Christ makes his presence known. 'Tis only where the soul is hushed he comes unto his own. A trysting place with him alone, there is no place so fair, and perfume of the flowers of heaven is borne upon the air. How silently Christ makes his presence known. 'Tis only when the soul is hushed he comes unto his own. Apart with him, alone with him, there flows into my heart a sweet repose of gentleness that earth cannot impart. How silently Christ makes his presence known. 'Tis only where the soul is hushed he comes unto his own.
Now we have come to our time of meditation. Please relax and get comfortable. Close your eyes if you wish. Fear not. We are the love of God. We enter into the stillness to align ourselves with the one mind, the one presence that permeates all of creation. We are the light and the darkness. We are the oceans and the land. We are the rocks and trees, the fish and birds, the animals of the earth. And we are one with every human being on this planet. In this oneness, we sense the divine order of all things. We feel the divine love that moves in us and in every molecule of the cosmos. We know the divine intelligence that is the foundation of all that is or ever will be. We are one with all in the silence, in the silence. Now, as we return to this time, this place, our beautiful sanctuary, we can know and remember all that is, the energy that we call God cannot have any boundaries. God is love of all creation with no opinions or judgments. Fear not.
And now, from the awareness of our abundance, it's time to share. If you say with me, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
You shall cross the barren desert, but you shall not die of thirst. You shall wander far in safety, though you do not know the way. You shall speak your words in foreign lands, and all will understand. You shall see the face of God and live. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest.
If you pass through raging waters, in the sea you shall not drown. If you walk amid the burning flames, you shall not be harmed. If you stand before the throne of fear and death seems at your side, know that I am with you through it all. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest. Blessed are your poor in spirit, for the kingdom shall be theirs. Blessed are you that weep and mourn, for one day you shall laugh. And if wicked tongues insult and hate you when they forget me, blessed, blessed are you. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest. Thank you for the desire to give, the willingness to give, the ability to give. May these gifts go on. Not may they will go on. Bless us, bless our Hawaiian community. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Unity Church of Greater Rochester.
Are you collecting these? Yes. Oh, she gave 2 baskets. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Greetings.
And felicitation.
I'm Reverend Barb Adams, minister and spiritual director of Unity Church of Greater Rochester, which I am so proud to participate, represent, and through your participation and along with the board, lead. Thank you for being here. Now, you do have a task before we get to the announcements. You do have a task, and you seem to have forgotten it. Bring a friend. Let me offer gratitude to the prayer chaplains, and please you as well. I was truly, truly caught up in your personal stories, your affirmations, your testimonials. to the power of God and the power of prayer. Thank you to our musician, Jane, and our singer, Aisha. Please. We're so blessed to have you. All right, announcements. Let's see. What do we have today? Oh, come back. Thank you, Bernie. Yes, if you are interested in being a daily word reader, please see Catherine. Let's see, KK is one of our photographers. If there's another photographer, someone who would like to sit up front, and every once in a while, if you see something that really moves you, take a picture. We use that on our website, on Facebook, and I also post to Instagram. Our Barb Boyce does our newsletter, and we're always looking for meaningful pictures that represent the love and the joy and the peace in our church. I will train platform assistants. Those of you who could help us up here in between the speakers, help with the in-between parts of the service, to come up here and offer that assistance to us. If there are days that I'm not here and we have a guest speaker, your help would be tremendous. And I am preparing the 2023 schedule for guest speakers. I want to get the ministers, the prayer chaplains back again, and anyone else who, Nancy is going to speak in December. Who else here is speaking? But I would like, Aisha? No. Yeah, we're going to get her. If you have experience or not experience, one of us will help you with preparing for the lesson, and a platform assistant or I will do the other parts of the service. Every Thursday afternoon, the prayer chaplains lead the meditation. You heard Liz lead it today, where you're guided into a thought, and then the silence is yours to contemplate, to meditate, to pray, and to commune with God. Our Course in Miracles group is growing. We may have to break into 2 groups. That's the good news. If you're interested in joining, every Thursday here, 7 to 8:30. Prayer chaplains are available on the sides of the church after the service. Make yourself available to them. They make themselves available to you for prayer, for silence, for gratitude. And may we pray. Maybe we just have a moment of silence right now for those within our congregation who are dealing with challenges, whether they be health, mental health, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. May we remember that God is with them always. God lives within, around, and through. God provides for all. God, through us and co-creating with God, we offer peace. We offer healing. We offer rest. Thank you, God. The prayer for protection. Please join Aisha and myself in singing this song. We'll sing it twice. Whenever you're ready, Jane.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Thank you. Thank you all. Hi, Finn. Let's say hi to Finn. First day back since his christening. Good to see you, Finn, and Mom and Grandma. Let's join together around the church. If you're comfortable joining hands or just want to hold up your hands for "Let There Be Peace on Earth."